What's going on, guys? Stock Easy here, and today I am not coming to you from the streets. Rather, we are in my studio in Chinatown to talk about something just as important as creating images. It is what you do with those images after you make them. Unfortunately, when I was just a young lad, not that young, starting out in photography, I did not know what to do with my files. And because of that, I lost a lot of images along the way. I would shoot in JPEG, I would shoot in RAW, yada, yada, yada. I'd delete RAW files or delete whole SD cards if I didn't like the images. And unfortunately, one of my favorite images that I still cannot find to this day, this one here, that at the time when I took it, I didn't think it was that special a few years back, and I didn't store it properly, and guess what? I have no clue where the file is. So I want to walk you guys through my Capture One file management workflow. I'm not going to show you how I process my images, but I will show you how I store them, a quick edit, and I'll show you how I name them so that I can always find those images later on in life. And hopefully this information is pretty useful to you guys. I don't expect you to take the entire workflow, but part of being a creative in this industry is imparting knowledge and taking knowledge from people. I meet photographers all the time. I shoot with photographers all the time. I've been on set with a ton of photographers, and you ask questions, and sometimes there's a little nugget of knowledge in there, and that's what you should take, and you add that to your wheelhouse, and then you build a stronger foundation. So hopefully this will add to your file management workflow and help create a stronger foundation for you. And maybe in the comment section after this video, you can let me know how this works for you, if there's anything that you really liked about this, and maybe you can impart some knowledge on me so we can help each other store and manage our files properly. Again, this is a Capture One workflow. I hope is usable in Lightroom, but I will say if you have dreams of working in the industry and you want to be a professional, you should be on Capture One because it is the industry standard. I'm not being paid to say this. Obviously, nobody sponsors me for anything. They don't even know I exist. But you should be working in Capture One. It's an incredible tool, and if you ask me, the file management is a lot better. But let's get on the computer now and jump into it. Okay, first things first, I'm gonna start from the very top here. And what I'm gonna do is, let's get my camera. Okay, I got my X Pro 2 here, and I'm gonna take out a fresh SD card, and I'm gonna pretend this is the beginning of June, and I'm gonna create a new session in Capture One, and I'm gonna start a brand new file. But before I get into that, I want you guys to take, this is not what I want to be showing here. Okay, so before I get into that, I want you guys to take a quick look at my master hard drive here. This is an old one when I first started out in photography and I was shooting portraits, and I want you to just take a look at how I named these files here. So if you go into my portrait folder, as you can see, I have a very standard way of naming these. That is because on my newer one here as well, you can see I have these master folders. They're called Portrait, Random, Street, Travel, Work, YouTube, and a project that I'm currently working on right now. If I go to my portrait folder, you're gonna see Portrait, Alex, the month that it was taken, and the year that it was taken, right? Now for my street photography, what I do here is I create a new folder every single month, right? And if you don't have one of these solid state drives, I would highly suggest picking one up, because every month that I create my street photography folder, this comes with me everywhere that I go, and I continuously import my SD card to this SSD. This is a Samsung T5. I also have a Samsung T3. You can usually pick these up for 70 bucks. 500 gigabytes is more than enough because this is just for the sake of traveling. This is less than the size of my wallet. I can slip it in my pocket, and anything that I'm working on, whether it be a YouTube video or my monthly street photography upload, it all lives on here. So if I'm at my studio, if I'm at my apartment, I can work on it anywhere that I go, right? So I normally upload my new session to this, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to download it right onto my desktop, and just for the sake of this video, because I'll probably delete it afterward, I already have a rolling June photography folder going. So this is going to be a brand new one just so you guys can see the process. All right. So first things first, let's open up Capture One. Okay, we have Capture One open. Here's some photos that I just took in the desert. And if some of you are not familiar with the Fujifilm GFX 50R, let's let that goddamn sign pass. This is why you buy a GFX 50R for this purpose. I'm going to show you right now. This is the before. Well, this is the after. I'm going to show you the before. Ooh, harsh lighting. This was taken at 1 p.m. in the desert in Ajo, Arizona, where the light is so harsh. Everybody wears these giant hats and you can't see their face. And now on the GFX 50R, I was able to save all that information, pull the light up, and get this photo here, which I'll probably end up adding way more saturation to because I wanted to create this documentary style that was really punchy and nice, a little more true to life. You can see here as I zoom in how much information the GFX 50R retains. These files are incredibly flexible if it ever loads in because it's processed. Look at that. Wow. Gorgeous. Insane. I mean, look at that. You can see his nose hair. But anyway, okay, so moving on. We're going to do a new session, Untitled session. And so, as you guys know, we're about to do a street photography import. So I'm going to start off with the category of photography that it is, street, the month, and quite simply, the year. I'm putting it on my desktop. Like I said, normally I'll put it on the solid state, but I already have a June folder on there, so I'm not going to keep doing that. Capture folder, that's if you're tethering, not really important right now. Selects, you can use that. I rarely use my selects folder. You can just go back into that file, the folder that is created from this, and delete it later. Output is something that I'm going to change to edited, just so you guys know, and we'll get to that a little bit later. Trash, and the capture name obviously is the same there, and we're going to create this file. Folder. Okay, import. Now, in this import, I have a style that I had adjusted on my computer called import, which rips all the color away from the file. So I'm not looking at any Fuji color. There's no classic chrome. I like to start from scratch with my images and use the presets that I've created to kind of give me an idea of what direction I'd like to go in when I'm editing my photos and selecting them. So the first thing that I do up here is type in RAF, so that it separates the JPEGs from the RAW files, because I don't want to import any JPEG files. I only want my RAW files. I delete my JPEGs. The only reason I shoot in JPEG and RAW is because when you're getting the preview on the back of your camera in JPEG, you can zoom in a lot further one-to-one and see the detail and the sharpness of your image. If you just shoot RAW, then it limits that. So I shoot both, so I have a more dynamic preview on the back of my camera. So now that I've separated my RAW Fuji files, RAW files, I have them all here. I'm not going to import all of these images. I'm only going to import a couple, but let's go through this section here. So the destination is going to go right into that session folder that we just created. I choose my naming format here as the destination folder. So all my images are going to be coming out street June 2019, and then it'll have a number corresponding to the image as it was imported and continue expanding upon that number every time you import. Sometimes I create subfolders for the second import, the third import, the fourth import of the month, but it's not really necessary. I don't like to do that because once you separate your imports, then all of your star ratings kind of go to shit and you have to go to different folders to figure out which your threes are from the fourth import, whatever. Just import to one folder a month. That's how I do it. It works out just fine for me. Okay, so again, this is how I name my photos, and we're gonna select just a few. We're gonna select just a few files, okay? So let's go up here. I'm gonna start here. I'm just gonna grab some images. I don't really care too much. This was me out shooting the other day. Yada, yada, yada. Slightly on the swings. Foot guys playing. That's cool. I like this file. These two. I like this one. This is cool. I like this guy's face. This guy's hand is cool. Let's focus on that, but let's grab it anyway. And oh, this is a good one. Really like that file. I caught him looking at me. This dude playing with his hands is kind of cool. That guy's kind of cool. And let's take this one. Okay. So normally I erase images after copying. I'm just going to import these 23 into this sample folder for you guys to see the rest of this workflow very quickly and easily here. Okay, so the first thing I do normally with my street photography, which is very different from my portrait photography when I do this process. If you guys are interested in more of my portrait work, just let me know in the comment section and I will show you some more about that stuff. But I'm doing street photography because it seems to be what you guys care about more. I don't really share much of my portrait stuff. But first thing I do with my street photography is a star rating, right? And I start normally with 3 stars because 5 steps is too much. I don't think it's necessary. 3 stars, I pretty much find something about the photo interesting. 4 stars, I'm starting to put my presets on it to see how it's gonna hold up under editing. And then 5 stars is a definite, it's gonna look great. And then I'll usually color tag it once the editing is done on it. So first I do a very quick, crude pass through where I'm just hitting 3s on the things that I think have some potential. Marking a 3. You guys can't see because I'm using my keyboard right now as I go through this. And you know, sometimes I don't even let them load. I remember what I shot and I know what's gonna work and what isn't. That's definitely a 3. That could be a 3. This could be a 3. This is gonna be a 3. No, blurry. Definitely a 3. No, 3. I like the purple poncho. I'm gonna take it. Okay, now I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna click my 3s. And then at this point, I'm gonna get a little bit more discerning. I'm gonna be a little more aggressive about whether or not I like these images. And this one is gonna be a no from me, so it does not move on. I like her stance here. Her gait is pretty intriguing with these spots, but this is pretty much the only part of the photo that I really like. So, you know, before it gets to a 4, I kind of start doing little weird things like this, cropping it and figuring out if I like it or not. I'm gonna hold on to this one. I really like that. That's a 4. This is the lady on the, I don't know what she was doing. She's stretching. Chinatown's a great place for shooting. I love it. Sure, I'll take it. No, that's not the right one. I wanted this guy's head in between him here. So I'll take this one. I love people playing with their face, with their hands. I'll take it, absolutely. I'll take it. I'll take it. Sure. Yes. And this guy's finger, this portion of the photo is kind of what I'm interested in. So again, this is when I start doing really light edits here, like straightening up my frames, because I'm an aggressive street shooter. I shoot very frantically, and I like this man's body language. Okay, so that's a 4, that's a 4, that's a 4, this is a 4. Now we're going to our 4s here, and once we're in our 4s, this is when we're gonna start slapping presets on. And I usually have one preset right now that kind of rules them all, and that is my cold style preset. It's named because it comes off a little bit cooler, and I like it. And you can see right here when you look at this, right? So you can see this is a little green, so you're gonna go to your white balance, and you're gonna pull your tint to the right. Left is adding green, magenta is to the right. So we're gonna color correct this by offsetting it with a little bit of magenta until it looks just about right. And at this point, this is when I start getting my colors where I want them to be. If I want to set my color tones, I'll click my advanced tab, and I'll just, you know, I'll add a little more saturation. I want my blues to pop there, right? Nice little bit of blue, and we'll darken it, and that feels right. So I like that. I don't know if I love it yet. We'll put a 5 on it now that I've edited it as far as I'd normally edit anything. So what I'm gonna do is slap cold style on this one. I'm gonna color correct it so that it's not so green. That's good enough. And then what I'm gonna do is copy this color correction, and then I'm gonna hit Control A and then Shift Control V and paste that coloring on every file, right? Now I can go through these and see with a very light color grading if I'm gonna like it. And once it goes into the 5 folder, then I'll do a serious edit and make sure it's perfect before I give it a color tagging. So no, I don't like this. I like this. Not much. It's pretty hard to read. I don't really care for it. This is great. I'm really digging this guy's face. I like the noise going on in the background. Maybe that's an interesting crop. We'll take it for now. And on this one, the background isn't as pleasing. You can't really make out anyone's faces. So I'm gonna do a really tight crop on his face. And this might live as a black and white. Let's see. That's cool. Some people won't crop this aggressively. Sometimes I actually like the loss in resolution. I think it looks great when it's pretty grainy. So I'm gonna try that in a black and white, and I am going to put my clarity up because I want this file to turn to shit. And I'm gonna add some harsh grain to it. Cool, I dig it. And I feel the same way about this guy. So I am going to do the exact same edit on him. 5 on this guy and on this dude. Let's get into your space here. Boom. I kind of like that we can see the reflection of the Zhangji board in his eyeglasses. So 5 stars on that. I like this photo simply because of the tonality of it and the color work. I don't necessarily love it, but I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna do my advanced color editor, and I'm gonna select this red and see if I get it somewhere that I like it. I like really nice, robust, lush colors. I don't really care to play around with it that much. Moving on. This guy's face, incredible, but probably in a black and white. This damn street sign in the way kills me because I love his face, but I'm gonna keep it because I like the file. I'm gonna keep this, and this man here is begging for a black and white as well. Maybe, I don't know. Sometimes what I'll do is look at this, I'll clone the variant, I'll reset the first one. That's the original. I'll put them side by side, have this one selected, and we will run through the gamut. I kind of like the color. Let's see high end. This is a bit warmer. Second favorite. Ooh, that's pretty nice. I kind of dig that. All right, these are 5s. I'll take it. It doesn't need to be black and white, so I'm gonna delete the variant. Oh, I deleted both of them. Control Z, let's get it back. Delete the black and white variant, and let's put this one in high end. And we're gonna put a 5 on that one. This guy looks great. Shot this super fast. Let's straighten this mother sucker out. I dig him. I like your style, old man. I don't really, but I like that you're standing on this wall. I think it's pretty cool. No, see, this is weird. Let's get you straightened out here. Now, are you a black and white? Yeah, black and white. And then this guy, he was wearing this purple poncho. I just saw him today and I was on the phone, so I squeezed this off as fast as I could, as many times as I could. And of course, if I do that little spin, I'm gonna lose the cigarette. Can this crop work? Will it work? I doubt it. And that's a no. Okay. Now we're going to my 5s, and I feel pretty confident about the way these files look. So once I love them and I think that they're done, the next step here is to color tag them, right? I think these are all ready. So I'm going to go down to color tag, and I'm going to mark all of these red, right? Now the next thing I do is in this tab here, you don't normally have to mess with this. You mess with it once and you set it and forget it. I'm gonna select my JPEG because that's how I want my images to process out, right? Don't worry about all of this stuff. The destination is the output folder that we changed from output to edited earlier. The format is gonna stay as the image name, so it's still gonna be street, so later on when you have that file on your phone and you hit the info button, or if it's on your computer, you're gonna know what month you shot it and what year, and you just go straight to that folder and you look for your red tags or your 5 stars, and that is gonna be right there where you left it the last time you edited, and that's the beauty of Capture One. It keeps all your metadata, and I know Lightroom does that too, but I prefer this method because it is a lot easier for me. So, now that I'm looking at all these 5-star red tags, I'm gonna select them and I'm gonna right click on these and I'm gonna process them out, right? It's gonna start the batch. And like I said, I saved this Capture One folder to my desktop. So right here, we're looking at it And if we go to our edited folder, voila, they're all processing out as we speak. Now, the beauty of this is that everything lives in one folder now. All your edits are right here in one folder, which is amazing. These are all my imports, because this is the session folder, and my edited, which I changed from output to edited, is all in here. So I don't ever have to worry about that, right? It's actually kind of interesting, these three faces lined up. I like the way that looks. One more thing I will show you guys is that I have a master edit folder on my desktop here, which I sync to my Google Drive. I have one on my laptop and I have one on my desktop. Now, what I do for this is that when I really like a file, I select it, right? Let's get these three guys' faces. I hit copy, booyah. Make sure to copy, don't just drag and drop, because you'll actually be moving the files. And I'll come in here, that is my ugly friend Alex. I'm gonna delete that. And I hit paste. And those will eventually populate to my Google Drive folder right here. They'll be popping up in a second, and that's my pretty girlfriend. Look at my girlfriend. She's so pretty. Anyway, so yeah, and then on my phone right here, I have my laptop edits and my desktop edits. And when I click that, if my internet connection is fast enough, there goes the three faces. There goes the three faces. They populate pretty fast. So that's how I set up all my edits to my phone. Now, at the end of the month, when everything is perfect and I'm happy with my edits and I'm moving on to July, I will take my Street June folder and I will place it right in here to my Street folder, and I will delete it off my desktop. And it will live in my master folder till the end of time. Longer than I am on this earth, it will continue to exist. My files will live on because I took the time to store them properly. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know we weren't looking at a bunch of pictures and I'm not in the street shooting, but I thought it was important knowledge to pass on. And I really hope this was useful to you guys. Let me know in the comment section if you want more of these little tidbits. So, hit that like button, subscribe. I miss you guys. Say something nice in the comment section, and let's chat on Instagram, DM me. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.